Shalom, shalom. Shalom, Israel, shalom. I want to start by saying Barakah Yahweh, Barakah Yahweh Shai, Barakah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and enough respect to the brothers that are out there pushing and spreading the truth, the gospel of Yahweh Bahashem Shai to the four corners of the world. Now, through the spirit of power of Yahweh Bahashem Shai, we are here once again. And the message is like I said, it's not too complicated. It's the same as it's been for years. First of all, we want to curse this place, death to America. All right, may the Most High destroy this place to its last atom. May we live to see, all right, the prophecy play out in front of our eyes, so that we may take joy in it, so that we may take pleasure in seeing this wicked kingdom go to the ground. And also, you so-called Negroes, that Latin Americans, and Native Americans, you also have to understand and realize that you are the children of, you are the biblical children of Israel. You are the princes of power. You are the one whom the Most High takes pleasure in. You are the one who carries the blessing of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. You ain't no Negroes. You're not black people. You're not Dominicans. You're not Puerto Ricans. No, you are Israelites, man. You're not Indians. You are Israelites. All right. So you have to understand that that's also the message. And seeing as how you are the children of Israel, you have to understand and that the mercies of Yahweh Bashim Shai is solely upon you. It's only extended to you. That gift of mercy is only extended to you, and you must recognize that gift, or you must take hold of that gift, right? Don't take it for granted. Work towards salvation, man. And our salvation comes to Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right, He is whom, right? He is the messenger of the covenant. Through Him we are redeemed, and through Him the Most High can love us. All right, we can be reconciled with the Most High because the Most High has been loved us. Salakia, the slip of the tongue. But I guess the title of the video says Strait Way, and what I'm gonna try to do is that I'm gonna try to it may seem as though it's difficult if you, especially when you live in a carnal world like this, it's difficult in this era that we're living in for a man to see how do I put it, for a man to be prudent and look at how the things he goes through will repay him in the future days, right? So I'm trying to explain. I'm gonna try my best, for all of us to bring our mind to the fact that the suffering that we're suffering right now, right, it is not for nothing. It is for the glory of Yahweh Bashim Ashai, and that we should endure it, right? And that we should gladly accept it, go through it, that we may be rewarded in the days that's coming. Because this time, this era that we're living in, this land, all right, these kingdoms out here, they don't push that narrative. What they push is instant results. They don't push they push nothing of such. You live in this society, it's easy for you to get around things. It's always easy for you to, it's easy for you to always get instant gratification. Especially when everybody around you also pressures you to do such. All right. I hope I make myself clear. I really do hope I make myself clear. This is. But first, let me read Habakkuk chapter 2. And again, this may seem like a cheesy topic, something that you've heard over and over again, but it's not, bro. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you hear it. Keep hearing it, okay, and keep laying it to heart. That scripture actually says that what when we should what how do I put it? We should pray for wisdom and understanding, and for recalling, right, for remembrance too. So remembering what we've been told over and over again, bringing that to mind over and over again, it's actually important. It's something that we should keep doing. All right. But Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 2, Habakkuk chapter 2 starting from verse 1, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon a tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Shalom in its likeness, Yasharala, Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Ashar Brakatha. So I was set up on my watch, and this is exactly what we're doing right now. When you see people in garments, with fringes on, preaching the Bible. That's what they're doing. They're on the watchtower, and they're preaching what the Most High has revealed unto man. You know, and the topic, all right, the main topic is the fact that this place is about to be destroyed, man, and that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and that Israel should repent. So what I should answer when I am reproved. Verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the table, that he may run that readeth it. All right, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it. And we're going to go into that, and we're going to go into how a man should wait. All right, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right. All right. This is Second Ezra, chapter 6, starting from verse 55, and then we're going to keep going until the Spirit stops it. But it says, all this have I spoken before, O Lord, because thou madest a word for our sakes, and as for the other people which also came of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Right. So, understand the context. You know, you have to know that at this point, Ezra was asking for the Most High for clarifications on the things that were happening upon this world. Because the Most High made the world for Israel, for the pleasures of Israel, and the Most High made this place so that Israel may rule in righteousness. But these heathens, these Gentiles, right, who are counted as spittle, who are counted less as a drop from a bucket, they seem to be doing well in the society, and they're ruling in wickedness. So I just wanted that clarification. What is going on? What are we not seeing? What is going on? The Most High, please help me understand. That's pretty much what's going on, you know. And the book of Ezra, this conversation, this dialogue that he has with the Most High, that he has with the angel Uriel, a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't know about it. That's why they take pleasure in wickedness. That's why they see wicked path as a fruitful path. All right, because they don't understand that wickedness is not made to flourish, because wickedness is made to flourish, right, for a season, and then all those that partake in that will be destroyed, and then righteousness shall reign. Wickedness is not flourishing because the Most High wants it to flourish forever. You know, if you take part in wickedness, you will get destroyed though. Like how do I put it? I'm trying to find a better way to put this. But right, you have to understand that with the wickedness, right, it's only in this world so that people may appreciate the righteous kingdom that's supposed to come. You know, so the wicked things that are going on right now, you ain't supposed to be taking part in it. You know, and it's not a fruitful thing. You will get destroyed for that. The Most High kills for that. You know. It says 57. It says, and now, O Lord, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, which has ever been reputed as nothing, have began to be lords over us and to devour us. Real quick, I just want to bring our attention to the fact that, as I just said, that these heathens are ever been, they will forever be reputed as nothing. So this replacement theology is bullshit. All right, they will forever be reputed as nothing. These other nations, their value will never rise up to that of an Israelite, and the Most High will never cast away an Israelite for a fucking heathen. All right. It says, and now, O Lord, behold these heathens, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have began to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hand. If the world be now made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? And how long shall this endure? And the answer to this question will come very soon. Chapter 7, starting from verse 1, it says, and when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before. And he said unto me, up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place that it might be deep and great. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come? How could he come into the broad? There's also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a narrow place, and is set in a narrow place, in a dangerous place to fall. Like as if there was fire on the right side and on the left side deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. And this is basically a scenario that the Most High has set for us. All right. So, seeing as how the righteous is supposed to toil to receive the rewards that the Most High has set up, right? Seeing as how the men of the Lord have to toil, and they have to be persecuted to receive the kingdom. In this world, in the eyes of a carnal man, it seems as though righteousness is a bad investment. You know, when they read that the prophets have been put to death, when they see that the disciples were persecuted and were put to death, when somebody looking from a carnal point of view, he said, "Look, man, this is bullshit. I ain't gonna do this shit." You know, why would they continue on this path when they keep getting killed, when they keep getting persecuted, when they keep getting slandered, when people hate them, when family members leave them, when family members forsake them? Why are they still on this path? And this is what the carnal mind keeps repeating to himself, and they ultimately come to the conclusion that righteousness is a bad investment. Following the Most High just ain't worth it, because the Most High is, because following the Most High is a foolish endeavor. And then they go further to liken the Most High to an evil person, and then they charge the Most High with not protecting the servants. They charge the Most High on forsaking the servants. You know, you have a whole bunch of especially these Edomites, and you have a bunch of jakes alongside with that whole thought who make fun of Yahushua. They make fun of Yahushua, and why does Yahushua have to die? You know, why does he got to go on the cross? They make fun of all these things. They make fun of the fun that the apostles were killed. All right. So just because the righteous has to toil to receive the rewards, it does not mean the righteousness is a bad investment. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm trying to the best of my ability to explain. All right. So it says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive his inheritance? And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so is Israel's portion, because for their sakes I have made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statute, then was decreed that now is done. Right? So because we sinned, we have to toil for the kingdom. You know, when we were brought into this place, we were, adversity wasn't upon our heads. We didn't have to work and only eat, you know, by our sweats. You know, it's all because we sinned. That's why this was declared, man. So it says, and when Adam transgressed my statute, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrance of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail, but they are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. That's right. This world is very, very painful. You know, that's why Paul says, well, we must endure as what? As good soldiers of Hamashiach. We must endure as good soldiers, because this world, it's a bitter world out here. You know, it's a bitter world even for the wicked that dwell in this place. How much more for the righteous man? You know, this place is full of perils. It's full of sorrows. It says, for the entrance of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruits, right? And if then they that live labor not to enter these straight vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them, right? So it says, now therefore, why disquietest thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man, and why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? And this is something also that these wicked people have to understand, you know, because you ain't supposed to understand everything that the Most High has set in place. So when they put it in their heart that they have to understand everything that the Most High has set in this place, they start bugging out because they can't find an answer to every single question. And what did they come? What did they do after that? They start saying, "Oh, the Most High ain't real." What did they start doing? They start preaching to the world that the Most High ain't good enough to be God, and that the Most High isn't a righteous God. And they do all sorts of they say all sorts of things that they have no idea, that they can't even understand, that a time will come where they shall give account for all these things that they say. So um, it says, why hast thou not considered in thy mind things that is to come, rather than that which is present, right? And a spiritual man, a spiritual person is supposed to what? It's supposed to be prudent, meaning he's supposed to be wise about the future. You're supposed to understand the things that are to come, right? You ain't supposed to dwell on the fact that you're cold out here. You ain't supposed to dwell on the fact that you got no money. You ain't supposed to dwell on the fact that you ain't a rapper or something like that. You're supposed to dwell on the fact that people hate you. You're supposed to dwell on the fact that you're working for the glory of the Most High, and that the Most High rewards His righteous people, and that the Most High rewards those that seek Him diligently. That's what you're supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to put your mind to. You know, a righteous man is what how do I put it? What boosts you, okay, towards righteousness is you understanding the future. Be prudent and put your mind in the future tense, man. Stop living in the present. You know, that's like you have a paper to write, right? And you know your ass is tired. You're tired. Your mind is gone, and you feel like procrastinated. But understand that all the things that you're feeling, the reason you won't do the homework is because of your present state. It's because of what your mind is going through in the present state. But when you start thinking of what happens if you don't do the paper, when you start thinking of what happens when you do the paper, right? It prompts you to actually go write the paper. When you know that if I don't write the paper, I'm going to fail. When you say that to yourself, if I write this paper, I'm going to pass them out and I'm going to move on to the next level. When you keep that mindset of the future in your mind, you push through the present prevails, and then it pushes you forward. Let me see. James 5:11. James chapter 5, starting from verse 7, it says, be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and has long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient, establish your heart, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. All right? Patience, faith is rooted in a man that's prudent, man. It's a man that has the ability to think of the latter times and work through the present, all right, to meet the future. Um, so verse 9 says, grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. We have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. That's right. You know, because the Most High ain't out to get you. And the time that you know, like I said, man, the perils that you're living in right now, don't think the Most High is out to get you, man. So it says, behold, we count them happy which endure. We have heard of the patience of Job, and we have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and tender mercy. That's right. You know, look at the glories that the apostles got. The glory of the prophets, man. And you read of the account of their life, their life was hell, man. The things that they went through it wasn't a joke. So it says, why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to then answered I and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous shall inherit these things, but that the ungodly shall perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for wide, for they have done wicked. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not receive the wide. That's right. You know, the fruitful things that are to come is not for the wicked people. The only thing that's happening right now is that the wicked people, the Most High is what? He's building his case against the wicked people. Let wicked flourish. But it's not because the Most High takes pleasure in wickedness. He's just trying to make sure that when he destroys, people know that this is why he destroys this place. You know? When he destroys America to this last atom, when he nukes America, when all these evidences come against America, when America's afflicted with famine, when America is afflicted with pestilence and disease, when people are dying left and right, then people will know that, look, man, yes, right, America deserved it. So the wicked, man, it's never a good thing for you to what? For you to be on the wicked side. And it's never a bad thing for you to what? Invest in righteousness. This is war that we fight, man. This Paul says what? The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but are spiritual, man. Yep, I got it right now. I'm gonna get another precept. Right, this is Judges chapter 3. Right, this is Judges chapter 3, starting from verse 1. It says, "These are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan." Right, war. Verse 2, "Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war." Right, at least such as before never knew nothing thereof. So we are supposed to what? We are supposed to be what? Warriors. We ain't supposed to be ineffective in battle, man. And a warrior, man, a warrior is groomed in bitterness. A warrior does a bit of work, man. You've been to boot camp. Ask a Marine what happens on the last day of boot camp. Ask a Marine what happens. You know, the last thing that they have to go through to become a Marine. Ask a Navy SEAL what it's like to become a Navy SEAL. It is bitter work, man. They are put through hell. They'll put your ass in December and you all wet, and you still gotta run miles, man. You're wet and you cold, and you still gotta go through all the obstacle courses. But what happens, man? They become warriors, and they put them on the battlefield, and then they what? They prevail. They become mighty. Ask a man how he becomes brolic. He subjects his body to pain, man, to work. He wakes up every day, goes to the gym, lifting. He wakes up in the morning, his body feels like he's been kicked by a donkey, man. But he still comes back the next day, and he still does the same thing. And what happens? He's strong. Ask a track star what he does to keep up his endurance. So it's bitter works, man. And you have to understand that. Don't forsake this truth. Don't forsake righteousness because what? Because you're going through because you are afflicted, man. You're being afflicted. Um, let's see. Hebrews 12 and 11. Let's see. Right, this is Hebrews chapter 12, starting from verse 11. It says, "Now no chastening for the present seems to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby." You know, the chastising or the chastening of the present. It's not it's not cupcakes and sunshines. You know, it's grievous work. Like I said, man, a warrior is born. It's born in adversity. You know, everything that you need to do that requires skill, you have to toil for it. Even instruments, even learning the scriptures, man. What is the scripture says that what? Much steadiness, warrior of the mind. If you want to become wise, you have to put your mind through a lot of strain, man. You have to go through a lot of research. Your mind have to be free. Look, man, you have to like read, like you do a lot of reading, and then only come across two sentences that answers your question. You know, but nevertheless, what? You are wiser. How does a man become? How does a man become wise? What the scripture says that what? Prick the eyes and tears shall fall, and prick the mind and wisdom shall fall out. A man to be wise, he has to be what? He has to be bombarded with sharp questions. You know, you sit down of nowhere and you ask a man a question, and it's grievous when you can't understand something, when you can't remember something. Nevertheless, when you do get the answer, it stays with you forever. Now you are wiser. You become a better man. All right. So it says, "Now no chastening of the present seems to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterwards it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby." So everything that we're going through right now, every infirmities that we're enduring right now, it is counted as what? Later on, it'll be fruitful. You know, we're gonna gain from that. When you're in the kingdom, you so like when you when we get into the kingdom, you know, you're gonna be glad that you have to go through all these things to receive the kingdom. When you endure and you get the things in the kingdom, you're gonna say, "Oh man, I'm glad I did all." Oh, so like I'm glad I did all I could, you know, to receive this to receive this. When you join us with Yahweh Shai, you're gonna be glad that you toil, you did all these things. You know, when you reconcile with the Most High, when the Most High, when you, like Yahushua said, that we can ask for anything from the Most High ourselves, when you have that privilege, you're going to be glad that you toil for the glory of Yahweh Shai. You know, when the martial law truth comes in and you happen to be one of the few that the Most High grants spiritual power, you're going to be glad that you would work for Yahweh Shai. When you flipping tanks like pancakes, you're going to be glad, right? You're going to be glad that you toil for it. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, so continuing, Second Ezra chapter 7, starting from verse 19, it says, "And he said unto me, there is no judge above God, and none that has understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of God that is set before them." That's right. And we don't want to be those that despise the law of God, man. We don't want to be those that are disobedient, because disobedience leads to death. Says, for there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of God that is set before them. For God has given straight commandments to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. That's right. You know, and sometimes the things that you have to do is grievous. There's certain pleasures that the Most High wants you to do away with, and because you want to be obedient and because you want to live, there's some pleasures that you put aside, man. Some things that you got to turn your back on. Don't look back. You know, certain things that you got to face, man. If it's mockery, so be it. Face mockery, man. But at least you will live. At least the Most High, the anger of the Most High was not kindled against you. So what, man? Like, yo. But people feel as if they know better than the Most High, man. And that is, yo, these kind of people, man, the Most High will do a number on them. The Most High will invent, man. The Most High is going to invent, that's all I can say, man. The Most High is going to invent some mind-numbing pain, man, upon them, that they may know who they're dealing with. So verse 22 says, "Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds." Like I said, man, in this life that we're living in this time that we're living in, it seems as though wickedness is prevailing. You know, so you see a rapper that sells you know, you see someone in the streets who has mad respect because he's selling crack, he's a drug dealer. You have someone who you know, who has mad respect because he robs people. Someone who has mad respect because he sleeps with his friend's girl, and probably you know, people pretend, yo, you get mad bitches, man. Here, this and that. He's wicked. You know, and in this world, it seemed as though like it's the right way to go. It seemed as though that being wicked is the right path to take. It seemed right for scientists, a world-renowned scientist, to say God doesn't exist, and people clapping for him, and then people think maybe, yeah, maybe, you know, he's a world-renowned scientist and he's saying these things. Maybe I should be in that same mindset that he's in. But the scripture says that what, they deceive themselves. You are deceiving yourself, man. People stay playing with the Most High, and that's one thing. Like you think you understand, but you can never understand, man. You can't play with the Most High. So it says, and deceive themselves by their wicked deeds, and saith of the Most High that he is not, and knoweth not his ways. But his laws have they despised, and denied his covenant, and his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his work. And therefore Ezra, for the empty are empty things. Why? Because these people are empty-minded, man. They have no wisdom in them. They are destitute of wisdom. The Most High ain't gonna grant his grace upon a foolish person. For the empty are empty things, and for the full are full things. And we want to be full of the word of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. We want to be full of the fear of Yahweh Shem Shai. We want to be we want to be full of the word of Yahweh Shem Shai, the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Shai, that we may receive reward in fullness. We don't want to half-fast, and the Most High be like, oh yeah, you want to, you know, and show us what a half-fast salvation looks like. You know, you know, you been you get nuked on one side of your body, and then hey, Shalom says, Isaiah 44 verse 8, it says, "Fear ye not, neither be afraid, for have not I told thee from that time, and have declared it?" Ye are even my witnesses. Is there a God beside me? Yeah, there is no God. I know not any. That's right. You know, and the Most High, hey, the Most High is by himself, man. The Most High is by himself, and you have to understand like how disrespectful and the pain, how painful it is for a man to for someone to give the Most High's glory, right, to Dagon, or the glory of Yahweh Shemashai to fucking Baal, man. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. And the Most High is sitting there like, yo, are you for real? He has promised that he's going to do something that's worse, man. Something that has never been seen upon the face of the earth. Something grievous is coming, man. You will not adjust to it. You are not ready for it. You know, these wicked people, they think they're ready for it. They think they have their infrastructure can keep up with it. They boast they boast in their geographical location. America, for example, they start all that shit on the western part of the world, and they think that the Atlantic Ocean can, because they are separated from the rest of the world, that they are safe. You ain't ready for it, man. Um, so it says, behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told you shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, and that now is withdrawn from the earth. Whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. And we want to be delivered and see the wonders of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, man. We want to be one of the privileged few to receive these gifts. All right. So 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, starting from verse 3, it says that no man should be moved by these afflictions, for yourself know that we are appointed thereunto. You know, and this goes for especially those that come to the truth, and then they start wilding out because for some reason, they thought like once you're in the truth, life is supposed to go smoothly. But what they have to understand that this truth is it's work. You know, it's like the scripture says, what, keeping your hands on the plow, not taking your hands off the plow. You know, it's work. Yahushua warned us that we were going to go through a lot of affliction. You know, we were going to go through a lot of shit, a lot of things that does not make us feel good, and that we should endure, and that we should receive the kingdom. So that's what it says, we should endure these afflictions, knowing that we were warned when we put our hands on the plow, when we came to this truth. We were made fully aware of the things that we have to go through. We were fully made aware of how the prophets were put to death, the apostles were put to death, man. For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we shall suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass, and ye know. Right. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12, it says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trials which is to try you, as though some strange things happen unto you. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Yahushua's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. That's right. The water for the precept. Acts chapter 14, verse 22 says, confirming the souls of disciples and exalting them to continue in faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of God. That's right. That is a straight way into the kingdom. You know, that's how the Most High said it. Man, I had a conversation with a Marine one time. Yo, he told me the things that he had to go through, man. I'm like, yo, are you for real? That's like, yo, 3 days in the woods, man. Like, just, and you got 2 hours of sleep. You get 2 hours of sleep a day. I mean, you gotta go through mud, and then you gotta sleep with that mud and then that water, that wetness. How can he's trying to figure out, yo, man, like, you got to be trained to be able to sleep while you're that cold. It's ridiculous, you know. And if a wicked person for a carnal reward can do this, how much more us who seek for immortality and for the glory of Yahweh Shem Shai? Jake will go through all this shit for fucking health insurance benefits. Jake will go through all this shit for fucking regular ass paying job, man. Because they don't pay soldiers that much. Jake will go through all this shit just so his college can be paid for, just so he can get a Hellcat, a fucking Hellcat. He'll go to the military. He'll be abused verbally, you know. He'll go through all sorts of shit, man. They'll go to combat training. He gets decked in the face, and he'll come back just so he can get a Hellcat, you know. Someone that carnal could go through all this shit. Why can't we go that extra mile, man? Why can't we do this to receive immortality, to receive the love of Yahweh Shem Shai, which is a million times a million, much more better and much more valuable than what these carnal people strive for. This is Acts chapter 15, verse 26 says, men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. That's right, you know. And I know this is easier said than done, man. That's why you have to pray for strength. The strength to go through all these tribulations comes from Yahweh Shem Shai. The strength, man. You can never go through all these things by yourself. You can never get through the hour of temptation by yourself, man. That's why you have to work. You have to. The Most High has to grant you these things. That's why we stress what faith. That's why we stress what diligence. It sounds cheesy. It sounds corny every time we say it, but it's very, very important. The things that the Most High is about to test us with, it's not a joke thing, man. I go ask Job if you can. Read the book of Job. When the Most High tests you, you don't know when it's gonna end. When the Most High tests you, man, it comes out of nowhere. You ought to have been prepared from the very beginning, man. You can't adjust to that shit in the middle. We will be trying, man, and we have to be very, very diligent. We have to take this very, very seriously. It's like I read of Antipas, and I'm like, yo, these like, what kind of level were they on though? You know, when you read of Antipas, they actually he's mentioned in the book of Revelation, and what they did was they killed him by way of the brazen bull, where they have the brazen bull, the metal bull, and then they heat it, they put fire under it, and then they stick you in that oven, and then you roast in there alive, you know, with hot metals licking your skin and burning you all over, you know. You read of Antipas, before they put him in, they actually told him what they were about to do to him. They described all that heinous acts all the things that they were about to do to him, you know. And this man looked him in the face and straight up said, look, man, if I die, I die. He told him, you have no idea how long I've waited to see you, how shy, man. How can a man who does not believe in how shy, how can a man who does not pay attention to the word of the Lord continue through that faith? How can your response be that way? How can where does your bravery come from if you don't take the word of the Lord seriously? When I read that, man, I was bugged out. I was like, yo, what? And it shows you that Yahweh Shem Shai is faithful, because even the secular history shows us that when he was in a brazen bull, he didn't make one peep, man. He didn't scream in pain whatsoever. So for a while there, because what happened was when they put you in a brazen bull, when you scream, right, your sound come out the brazen bull like an actual bull. And then what they do is that they'll play drums, they'll play music, they'll start drinking to that sound, right? So for a while now, you know, they weren't hearing this. So hold on. Stop the music. Something is wrong. Something is off. All right. They went in there and they opened it, and then Antipas was still in there, you know. And it turns out like he was praying for his brethren, man. First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 20 says, where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Right? Where is the disputer of this world? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? That's right. You know, there ain't nothing in this world, man. There's nothing in this world that you can boast to Yahweh Shema Shai for. You can't go to the Lord and be like, oh Lord, look, man, you know I've been a rapper, right? You know, look at these tracks, look at these singles. All right, they dope, right? You think I get in the chariot? What? Hey man, hey, most I see these bills right here. You know, it's $1 million. It's $20 million. You see this mansion, right? You see these big booty Instagram top. You think I get into the chariot? You know I'm dope though, right? It's foolish to the Most High, man. The Most High will backslap you into the river, into the lake of fire, man. Get kicked in your chest. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 21, it says, "For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world, right, by wisdom knew not God. If it pleased God by the foolishness of preaching, to save them that believe." That's right. You know, yeah, this investment that we're making right now, it's not fruitless. You know, there is a time of harvest coming, but we have to toil, man. And you know what's crazy? This thing that like this message of endurance is something that doesn't even have to, you know, like the wicked always try to like bring out the fact that because we have to toil, that means that the Bible is wrong, and that means the Most High does not exist. But this man's his whole life is based on enduring. It's based on It's based on what? Tribulation. It's based on what? How do I put it? It's based on working towards a goal. You know, like I said, man, if they have to do anything, if he has to join the army, he understands all these things. That he has to do certain things. If he wants a job, he has to understand that, okay, you have to get the experience, you have to get the skills. This is what I have to do. If the job requires a degree, I'm gonna have to work. I'm gonna have to take some of my income. I'm gonna have to invest it into the school, go to school. I know I'm working and going to at the same time, but I'm gonna cut off my sleep to make sure that I get a better reward in the future. They are aware of all these things. It's part of their very lives. They know of this. But when a man does it for the glory of the Lord, he's a fool. I do not understand that logic. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. You know, what do they base that on? That's why the Most High said, it's not us, man. It's him. It's him. They hate him. They don't like him at all. Second Timothy chapter 2 verse 4 says, "No man that worth entangleth himself with the affairs of his life, that he may please him," right? That he may please him who has chosen him to a soldier. So no man that worth select. No man that worth entangle himself with the affairs of his life, that he may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier. That's right. Hey, shalom, you know, toil is part of our everyday lives, man. And it's not a strange thing. It's not a strange thing. You shouldn't find yourself. Don't let people convince you and to be a fool. All right. Because you toil for Yahweh Shema Shai. Did I miss a precept? This one. All right. So it says, no man that worth entangles himself with the affairs of his life, that he may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier. And that's what we must do, man, as a soldier. You know, now there are a few soldiers, but who always, who aren't like diligent or completely um, devoted to the life of a soldier. But sometimes the soldier does not entangle himself, you know, like in a civilian lifestyle. You ain't gonna meet a soldier who plays PlayStation for 24 hours straight. There ain't no such thing as that. No soldiers like that. You're not gonna meet a soldier who sleeps 16 hours a day. Ain't no such thing. You're not gonna meet a soldier who's always out at the club. No, man. He's basically he's working, so that he may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier. And that's what we must do right now. That's why the apostles put the elder that nobody should be out in the club, man. You weren't supposed to out there in the club. What are you doing in the club for? You're supposed to be a soldier, man. We read it. We read in the Judges chapter 3, starting from verse 1. It says that what? That the Most High he left the Canaanite nations around us so that what? He may teach us how to war, man. So that we may learn war. We're supposed to be warriors. It's not supposed to be appealing to you to be a wicked person, you know. Let's see. Hebrews 12. Let's see. All right, this is Hebrews chapter 12, starting from verse 6. It says, "For whom the Lord loveth, he chastiseth, right? And scorneth every son whom he receiveth." That's right. You know, if ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the father chastises not? That's right. So, like for example, you have a son, and he does something that's wrong, and this is gonna grow into a bad habit. You need to whoop his ass and take that wickedness from his heart, man. You need to teach this man how to think. You need to teach this boy how to act. You know, you meet someone who's always talking shit. You need to teach his ass how to behave, because one day he's gonna meet someone, and that person is not in the habit of teaching. He's in the habit of killing, and that's it. You don't love your son. You don't think that. You don't think about that. There are certain mistakes that a person cannot make, and you as a father, if you love your son, those mistakes that end a person's life, you have to recognize and make sure that your son does not make those mistakes. A child is born knowing nothing, but understand is that wickedness, a child is more prone to absorbing wickedness than he does righteousness. Righteousness doesn't come just like that. You have to be taught righteousness. Wickedness, however, it comes exactly like that. It comes just like that. You know? You have a man who's raised, who was not raised, he becomes a wicked person. But you're like, hold on. Who taught him this wickedness? You know? But that's why righteousness is very important. You need to teach, right? Teach righteousness. Take that wickedness from his heart, man. If you love your son, that's what the scripture says. So it says, "But if ye be without chastisements, wherefore are all partakers, then ye are bastards, not sons." That's right. And this is what should encourage us, and what we should understand, that the things that we're going through does not mean the Lord has forsaken us. It only means that the Lord loves us. And the Lord, like I made in the video a while back, that what's going on is that the Most High is he's grooming his warriors. If we are to be warriors, we need to what? We need to be groomed. A warrior has to be trained, man. A battlefield is being set, man, and a bunch of the Most High is bringing evil upon this place. What did the book of Ezekiel say? I'm going to bring it, all right? Right, this is Ezekiel 57, verse 5. Let's see. Right. Ezekiel 57, starting from verse 3, it says, now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. Continue, it says, and mine eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come upon this place. Evil has come upon this place, man. And a man who's just like a pussy whip cannot endure these things that's coming. You know, you cannot be soft when evil times are coming. There was a famous historian, I forgot his name, but he made a connection that it seems like every empire that falls, it falls because when he came to power, they softened down. They became soft. And then those people who were oppressed, because they were put through hardness, they became warriors, and he took over that kingdom. He sees that pattern going over and over again, and it's true. It's completely true. That's exactly what happens. You look at the Roman Empire, for a time now, their warriors was very weak. You know? Their requirements for a warrior, they cut it short, and then they start putting a bunch of people. Okay, you can read. It didn't matter if you can go through like the stress. It didn't matter if you can if you had the hardness of a warrior. It didn't matter. You know. They cut off certain requirements, and then the army became full of weak men. You know. They would usually pick people from the countryside, people who worked, who plowed, people who were strong, people who were used to the cold, to the elements. And then they start bringing the city boys, man. They start bringing those in the cities. And then the army became mad weak. And what happened? Like they were getting jacked up left and right. And eventually the empire fell, you know? Let's see. This is Isaiah 1 verse 24. It says, "Thus saith the Lord God, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease my anger, I'll ease me of mine adversary, and avenge me of mine enemies." That's right, you know. So, the Lord of hosts, man, it's the Lord of armies. I'm more saying that it's not a lot of faggots, man. And you need to be a warrior, you know. Isaiah 1:25 says, "And I will turn mine hand upon thee, and will purely purge away thy dross, and take away all thy tin." Isaiah 1 verse 26, it says, "And I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterwards thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the city of righteousness, the faithful city." That's right, you know. And yo, these people, you know, for those that believe in Hawashai, Shai, you know, like adversities is good. Adversities means the Most High love you. But for you wicked out there, you wicked Israelites out there, that or you wicked nations out there that keep saying that keep keep driving to the conclusion that adversity means the Most High hates us, and that righteousness is a fruitless endeavor, right? The Most High will disappoint you, you know. All right, so that's pretty much the message, you know. So the straight way, we are to love it. All right, let's not um, try to find ways to get around the straight way. But if you can't, the only way to get around the straight way is to indulge in wickedness, and you do not want to do that. All right, wickedness reigns, but wickedness will be destroyed. Wickedness is only there so that the Most High's anger upon this place may be justified, and then so that righteousness may be appreciated. That's it on that. You know. So we should love the straight way. To the brothers that are watching, I want to shalom. Yahweh Shem Ashar Brakatha. To the few aquas that are also watching in truth and sincerity, I want to shalom. Yahweh Shem Ashar Brakatha. And may the blessing of blessings be upon our houses. May Yahweh Shem Ashar grant us the strength and the endurance to go through the straight gates and receive the city that is set on the other side. And may we be one of the few privileged people that the Most High shows mercy on, and the Most High grants salvation. All right. So until the next one, shalom. Yahweh Shem Ashar Brakatha. Shalom, King Levi Isaac. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Ashar Brakatha. All right.